Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another episode off of my Concert Confession series. But I hear you proclaim, Brandon, what is Concert Confessions? Well, folks, Concert Confessions is a vlog series that I've been doing for a little while now, where I go over there and I confess my concert sins to all of the public. I expound upon my concert experiences in the form of the internet. Basically, I go over there and I yammer on about a bunch of shit that I like about music and such, because I'm a big old live music nerd. All that said, folks, this is episode 3 of Concert Confessions, which is why I'm still working the kinks out on my intro and stuff. Please be patient with me. I'll get it eventually. This was, for me, concert number 176. That's right, folks. I've been to 176 concerts as of the time of this particular video. I did go to the show a couple days ago. I'm doing the vlog now because, quite frankly, I'm usually just too damn tired to go over there and try to do a full vlog after just getting done with a full concert. So I give myself a little time to rest and all that stuff. But I still keep it fresh in my head. But anyway, what concert did I go to? What am I confessing about today? Well, folks, this was a good one for me because I went out to see Psyclon 9 and Ventana and Heathen Sun and Sinister Fate. But I'm going to be honest, Ventana was like the big selling point for me. I actually went wearing this the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but during Ventana's set, part of the other set. So, but anyway, let's get into it. I have a little itinerary here to help me kind of remember. So going off of the sheet of paper that I wrote a few weeks ago, first thing I want to talk about is the bands. There were 4 bands total that went over there and performed. It was out in West Chicago. The first band up was a local band called Sinister Fate, who I'd actually never seen or even really heard much of before. That was until my friend Dan, who had previously been a drummer in the band Wonderlick, who were a fantastic local band as well. He went over there, he took up drumming responsibilities for Sinister Fate back in 2024. This was actually my first time seeing them, though. I was really excited when I learned that him and his band were going to be there, and they didn't disappoint. They were a great opening band, and they really kind of fit the vibe of this fairly eclectic assortment of bands. I'll kind of get into that. But they hit really nice, kind of, sort of a little avant-garde metal, kind of almost hard rockish and stuff like that, but very cool. Had some nice theatrics. Probably, not gonna lie, probably the highlight was at one point the lead singer went over there and he took a metal plate, strapped it to his chest, and took an angle grinder and started letting the sparks fly off of it, which, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it's kind of a cheap trick to go over there and get a pop from the crowd, but it is really cool. And at the same time, you need to have some level of talent to do that and not accidentally hurt the hell out of yourself. So kudos to the lead singer for that one. As for the performance, it was really fucking cool. I enjoyed it a lot. I knew that they were going to have a beast on drums with my friend Dan, who is genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. Like, genuinely, like, top 20 human beings I've ever met. He's an extremely good dude. It was just fantastic to see those guys and to experience that for the first time. They, like I said, they had some fun theatrics, and just their overall vibe was really cool. It was one of those things where, it took a little bit to get the crowd into it, but the crowd got into it, and I mean, as the opener, your job is to go over there and kind of get everybody hyped up, and for a fucking Tuesday show, in fucking winter no less, I think they did a really good job, and I know for me personally, I was a fan of the performance. I thought it was really cool, and I definitely got into it, especially by the end. I was definitely banging my head along, so they were great. That was band number 1. Let's move on to band number 2, and then, again, talking about somewhat eclectic group of bands. So the second band was a band called Heathen Sun out of North Carolina. First of all, I want to mention, what the fuck, North Carolina? Y'all are coming out with some of the best bands. Seriously, like, just off the top of my head, aside from Heathen Sun, you also have Liveac, who I saw perform live last year. They were really fucking cool. You also have Stellar Circuits, who are my buddies, who I fucking love, who are one of my absolute favorite bands. There's another one, too, I can't think of off the top of my head, but you guys are fucking killing it there. So keep doing whatever you're doing. Heathen Sun was a band that I'd wanted to see for a little bit, because I'd become aware of them maybe like a couple years ago, I want to say, something like that. And it was one of those things where, like, you know, they were kind of at the back of my mind. Like, it wasn't like I didn't dig super deep into them. But when I saw that they were on the ticket, I was like, oh, fuck yes, this is perfect. You know, finally get to see them live. And to say that they blew me away would be an understatement. Like, I'm a big nu metal fan. You know, I mean, I like lots of different types of metal, but at my core, I'm a nu metal fan. And these guys they're part of the new generation of nu metal that has me so hopeful and just, like, so vibing into what they're doing. You know, super high energy, certain theatrical elements to it. You know, most of the guys wear masks except for the lead singer, who had this awesome, like, super long braided beard. I fucking loved it, man. And the crowd was a little bit mid on them at first, if I'm being honest. You know, like, especially for how much energy they were putting into it. I personally felt like I couldn't believe that the fucking crowd wasn't going in for it more than they were. But little by little, they did kind of get won over, and, you know, they certainly had a larger crowd at the end of their set than when they started. And that's a victory. And for me personally, I was super into it. Like, it was one of those things where I actually held off getting merch from them because I was like, well, I think I like them because I've listened to a couple of their songs, but what if they suck live? That's happened before. They didn't. They were fan-fucking-tastic. About the only point of contention I have with them was that they left early. Like, they went over there before the next band set was even completely done. They basically backed up. I'll kind of go into that more when I talk about the merch and stuff, but that bummed me out a little bit because I want to get some pictures and stuff with them, but loved their set. Like, it was a fucking blast. Moving on to, for me, the highlight of the whole thing had to be, again, Ventana. Fuck yeah! Ventana are one of my favorite bands. Top 20 for sure, maybe even top 10. These guys, I fucking love them. I've been repping these guys for probably close to 15 years now, something like that. And it was extra special for me because I hadn't seen these guys perform live in fucking over 10 years. It was one of those things where the last time I saw them perform live, they were on tour with Psychostick, I went out and I bought this gas mask from an Army surplus store. It's not even around anymore, with the intention of wearing it to their next show. In the time from when that occurred to seeing them now, they don't even wear the gas masks anymore. They don't have that theme anymore. But I bought this damn thing, and so I was going to wear it. And I did wear it for their entire set. It was hard to breathe and hard to see, but damn it, it was worth it. And when I say that their show just fucking absolutely hit me, it was just, this was something I've been waiting for such a long time. And when I saw that they'd made this announcement, and the thing was that they'd kind of retired as a band more or less for, you know, a couple of years. So I didn't know if I was ever going to get to see them again unless I like went to one of their Cleveland shows. So them being there and I have to say too, and again, I'll go into it a little bit more when I talk about the merch. I actually got the opportunity to go over there and talk with these guys and, you know, hang out with them just a little bit, you know. And they were extremely fucking cool. But their performance was just so badass. And it was very different than the last time I'd seen them. Because, again, they no longer wear the gas masks and, you know, kind of the military gimmick they had. But more so than that, they've sort of structured their band a little bit differently. They actually have sort of two vocalists now. Kind of the main creative force, Stitch, he sort of shifted from being kind of backing vocals and keyboards to really just taking on the main vocal role. And it was really cool. I really loved everything that they did. Their set blew me away. It was one of those things where, like, it touched that innocent part of me, you know, that 19-year-old concert goer who's just going to shows for the first time, and I can't say enough good things, man. It just, going from Sinister Fate, who were badass, to Heathen Sun, who fucking blew me away in, like, the best kind of way, to Ventana, who was just, like, it was just, but let's move on to the headliners, because that wasn't the sum of the show. The headliner was A group. I mean, it's more just, it's kind of one guy, but, you know, it's a group of people. That being Psyclon 9. I'd seen Psyclon 9 a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed the set. Actually met a friend there at that show. That was really cool. And, well, no, actually, I met her at a different... Anyway, I'll get to that. But no, it'd been a while since I'd seen them perform, and, you know, I was one of those things where it's like I remembered enjoying their set the last time I saw them, but again, it was like a couple of years ago. I'd genuinely kind of forgotten how fucking cool they are. Like, the lead singer and main creative force, Nero, who works on all kinds of cool industrial projects, like, as a frontman, is just so badass. Like, the way that he works with the crowd and, like, the sort of atmosphere he creates, like, with his movements and sort of just the dynamics that he puts on, so incredibly cool. And then, like, and I actually really enjoyed this set, aside from, you know, just enjoying it anyway, because it felt like a heavier set to me than the last time that I saw it. And even my one friend who was at the other show agreed, like, they definitely put in some heaviness with this one. But very sort of goth, you know, industrial style kind of metal and rock, and just very fucking cool, man. Like, it was one of those things where I knew I was going to have a good time with it. I didn't think I was going to have as good a time as I did. So, again, great local band. Heathen Sun fucking blew me away. Ventana made me feel like a fucking teenager again. And then going to Psyclon 9, who ended up, you know, vastly exceeding my already high expectations. It was just really fucking cool, man. All the bands brought it, and every single one of them were really, really good. This is my second show of 2025, and I mean, that's only 2 shows in. And the first show I went to was great, too. By the way, I do have an episode of that for my Concert Confession series, so if you want, you can, I'm just saying. But I have to admit, this one, so far, this is my favorite show of the year. Again, you know, just getting to see Ventana, and then, again, just everything. And it was just such a weird, interesting blend of styles, because, like, you know, if Ventana were kind of like the Gap band, because it's like, you know, they have, like, some kind of new metal-ish aspect, but they're more industrial metal. And then on the other hand, you have Psyclon 9, very industrial, and then Heathen Sun, very new metal. It was so cool. It was a weird vibe. I don't know if everybody got along with it, but I certainly did. That brings me to the next part on my itinerary, the venue. The venue was the WC Social Club, which at this point is definitely the venue that I go to the most. In fact, I have potentially up to 3 shows that I might be seeing there in March. We'll see. It's a great venue. It has really become, for me, pretty much the preeminent sort of like rock and metal venue in my area. In part, sadly, because some of the other ones have closed down, but WC Social Club does a really great job. About the only problem they have is location-wise, definitely can be difficult to draw, you know, like a significant crowd, but it can be done, to be fair. And as far as just the overall venue and everything, like, I don't have any real complaints about them. The only thing I kind of do a little bit is they changed their policy. Used to just be able, re-entry was fine. Now they're shakier about it. They did let me go back to my car and drop off my merch, though, so, you know. But that was just a little bit disappointing for me. I like having the option to go out to my car and sit down for, you know, in between sets. That goes over there. That brings me on to the crowd section. The crowd was, there were goods and bads. On the good side, a whole bunch of cool people that I knew ended up at this show. My friend Stephanie, who I'd met previously, she was the Psyclon 9 fan. I got to see her again, which was really cool. She even went over there and took some pictures for me at the end of the show. She's a doll. She's like such a fucking lovely person. My friend Dan, who, like I said, he was in the band Sinister Fate. His awesome girlfriend, Heather, who I've actually known since we were in fucking middle school together. Again, 2 of the most stellar human beings ever. My new friend, Hector, who I ran into at the end of 2024 at a Mushroom Head show. He showed up at this one. We exchanged Facebook stuff and everything. Fucking genuinely badass dude. My friend Bridget, who I've been to so many shows with at this point now. we just tend to keep, running into each other. And she's like one of the most badass metal chicks you could ever meet. Yeah, man, it was just so fucking cool. That was awesome. Like, getting to see so many familiar faces. The downside, the turnout was a little bit so-so. Not terrible for a fucking Tuesday show, though, again in winter. But it wasn't, it wasn't packed. The last show that I went to, where the Browning performed, I mean, that place packed the fuck out. So, credit where it was due. But there was still a decent-sized crowd for this one, for what it was. And, they got into it. And unlike the Browning one, I didn't have an annoying asshole going over there and trying to hand his phone to the fucking lead singer of any of the bands. So that was nice. So the crowd was a little bit, but overall I would say it was a good vibe. And like I said, not a bad turnout at all. Moving on from that, we go to one of my favorite parts of this whole thing, which is specifically, the merch. What did I get? Well, folks, I got an assortment of stuff this time around. I got a You're a Fucking Asshole CD from Ventana, because it was like the only thing on their table that I didn't own. I got CD from Heathen Sun, because I absolutely knew I had to get one from them after their set. And a CD from Sinister Fate, who again, really fucking cool, really enjoyed their stuff. Plus, I always really like to support local stuff. I wanted to get more from them, but by the end of the show, I was a little bit low on funds, but I at least had to get a CD. But that's not the sum of it, folks. No, indeed. Because I got shirts. Specifically, I got Ventana shirt with the You're a Fucking Asshole on the back. Probably won't wear this one to the, the Sunday social type of gatherings, but another Ventana shirt. That makes me very happy. And I got really badass Psyclon 9 shirt. I actually originally wasn't going to go over there and grab a shirt. I was going to get a CD because, again, funds. But when I saw the design on this, like, that's just so fucking cool. So it's like, hell, man, let's do it. Splurge a little bit. I can afford to not eat for a day. Then, another Ventana shirt. Nothing on the back of this one. And finally, this had to be the most subdued of the designs for their shirts. Heathen Sun shirt. This one's very classic, just black and white metal. Most of them were extremely colorful and kind of matched their whole vibe. But I decided I'd start off with the more chill one. But here's the thing, not even that is that. Now, this isn't exactly merch, but it's kind of something that was just extra cool for me. I got a whole bunch of stuff signed. Specifically, I got a couple of CDs from Not My God signed. That is the music, or one of the other music projects of Nero, of Psyclon 9. I got these signed, which was really cool. The last time when I saw him perform, he didn't really come out, after the set and everything. They did like a VIP thing. So this time around, though, he hung out by the merch table. Very cool. And this is because I got every Ventana thing that I own signed. Their first album, I've got it signed multiple times. This is actually the only one I had the first time around when I saw them. One of their demos, one of their other albums, front and back. And this is an extra neat thing for me. I actually got my EP of 17 Dead, signed by Mr. Eric Hess, who was the vocalist. This was a very cool music project that was sadly short-lived. But genuinely, like, if you're into, like, industrial type stuff, check this band out. Very, very cool. Got all that signed. That made me very happy. And I'm not done yet, because remember when I was talking about where I went over there, was hanging out a little bit with the band and everything like that? Well, the drummer of Ventana, who is an excellent human being named Dan, another Dan, who worked with so many cool bands, he and I got started talking about the fact that he also plays in the band Dope. And he went over there and went backstage and gave me a fucking dope drumstick that he just had. And he's just like, here you go. I wanted to fucking literally grab him, pick him up, and hug him. It was so fucking cool of him. Like, I can't... I'm going to keep gushing. Come on, that's so cool. But anyway, As far as anything else is concerned, sort of pros and cons, I mean, there weren't a lot in the way of cons. I would have liked a bigger turnout. You know, I'm just saying, and I'm sure the bands would have too. But again, it wasn't a terrible turnout. Would have liked to have gone over there and gotten to chill a little bit with the Heathen Sun guys. That was, you know, again. And to be fair, hey, you know, they got the shit to do and everything. It is what it is. But I really wanted to, you know, get some pictures or something with them because I really enjoyed their set. And honestly, other than that, like, there really wasn't any cons. Like, it was an amazing show. The pros were that all the bands were badass. All the sets went off without a fucking hitch. And the night just got better. And especially getting to see Ventana for me really did, again, it touched me. My overall grade, which is the very final part of this that I'm going to go into, I have to go for me. I think this is like, I'm going to say this is like a solid, my top rank is S, because I'm cool like that. I'm going to say for me this was a fucking A+. You know, the only things, again, that could have made this a little bit better, a little bit bigger crowd, would have been cool to just have that extra energy. And then, you know, again, just maybe getting to chill with Heathen Sun a tiny bit. But this has got to be an A+ for me. It hit on so many levels, and it struck me in such a personal way. This is a show that, like, I'm going to carry with me for weeks, if not months. That's how much I love this. But anyway, folks, that is the end of my concert confession vlog for concert number 176. Psyclon 9, Ventana, Heathen Sun, and Sinister Fate. I don't have a good outro yet, but we're going to kind of work on this. So, folks, if you're like me and you like lots of live music and rambling on and bullshit, maybe it's worth going over there and confessing your concert sins to me, and we can go over there and share in those experiences together, because live music is meant to be shared, and, yeah, we'll go with that for right now. Anyway, folks, have yourself a kick-ass fucking rest of your day or whatever the hell you're doing, and try to get out some live shows, support local bands, and all the local music stuff and everything. Anyway, bye.